it said Dalton. I can still hear that voice.
Horror films. Over the past few decades, they've been perceived as mindless, even trashy thrill rides that are built around a jump scare or a few inventive kills. But horror is one of the most influential film genres, frequently ripe with social commentary. Horror filmmakers create an abstract force of evil to represent the social and political implications in society. These horror villains are used to reawaken a person's deep-rooted fears and scare them into recognizing problems in our society. One of the most explored controversies in horror films are racial tensions and the issues they raise in society. At first, African Americans were not well represented at all. In the early days of horror cinema, many classic horror monsters seemed to represent black men. Classic films like The Creature from the Black Lagoon portrayed creatures who spouted big lips, a stereotypical feature of black people, and abducted innocent white women. These problematic messages echoed society's fear of black men at the time. But this all changed when Night of the Living Dead swept onto the screens and society's reactions were redefined almost overnight. In the midst of civil unrest during the civil rights movement, a low-budget movie came out that created zombies as we know them and marked the first major lead for a black person. Ben, played by Dwayne Jones, commands over the generic white protagonists. The director stated that the role wasn't written black, he was just the best actor that showed up that day. This not only proved liberating to see the black protagonist treated like any other person, but it made the ending so much more powerful. The film ended like this.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
This bleak ending echoed not only the unfair treatment from law enforcement on minorities, but also the recent murders of MLK and Malcolm X. As soon as a black man gained power, he was ruthlessly shot down. This film was not only momentous for black representation, but it inspired the horror genre to become more than just the lowbrow entertainment it was perceived as. Through the 80s, horror took a huge leap with sprawling franchises like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street becoming box office sensations. Yet throughout these films, African Americans were limited to the same type of characters. This all changed with the horror anthology film Tales from the Hood, which dealt directly with racial and social injustices such as police brutality, racist politicians, child abuse, and gang violence.
You! Where the fuck did your little black ass come from?
It was funny, horrific, and most of all, revolutionary. Not only did it have a completely black cast, but it also covered so many heavy topics.
I didn't do anything. I was playing in my room, and the bullet from your gun came through the wall.
A bullet ain't got no name on it.
It was not a huge success, but it directly inspired the huge film Get Out. In the midst of the transition between the Obama and Trump administrations, America's stance on racism became unclear. Instead of tackling obvious and recognizable topics, Jordan Peele decided to tell a story of the modern-day black experience. He packs the screen with supporting characters who exude casual racism and social slights.
Bad. Hey, Nielsen? So, is it true? Is it better?
Wow.
Fairer skin has been in favor for the past, couple of hundreds of years. But now the pendulum is swung back. Black is in fashion.
And cleverly fills it with metaphors, such as Chris picking cotton from the chair, and Chris killing the dad with a buck, which was common slang for a slave. Vox critic Aha Romano voiced, Peele makes audience members of all races understand, in a visceral, unprecedented way, how demoralizing racism's effects are on the people it targets. Most importantly, it has inspired countless other films to be greenlit, like Bad Hair and His House. Horror films have tackled hundreds of topics like consumerism, classism, women's societal roles, and many more. Pondering this topic, I come back to the question of, couldn't we at least? Because with every new black horror movie, they updated the social commentary. Every time, they improved upon the last, whether asking, couldn't we at least have a black lead? Or, couldn't we at least tackle police brutality? Continually asking this question helped these films perfectly display the racial climate of their time through the metaphorical horror demonstrated. Each of these films modernized its social commentary, yet each one still resonates as these injustices recur over and over again.